Welcome to Out of Class, for all those lessons you didn't learn in school. Your overall health, fitness and well-being starts with the right mindset and having those meaningful conversations. This is your host, Grant Roberts. Let's get into it.
I'll teach you a lesson now.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back after 3 years. 3 years I'm bringing the podcast back after I had some amazing guests last time. If you haven't checked out my previous episodes, go back and check them out. I wish I had have continued on with my podcast, but a lot of things changed in my life, and unless I'm ready to go fully in with this type of thing, then I'm not going to do it. Now that I'm ready, that I can do it consistently, I'm going to be dropping these podcasts consistently. So as the title goes for this episode, how to stay positive most of the time, that is going to be the theme, positivity, to start off this podcast. And I'm also filming it because I'm probably going to have guests again in real life in the same room as me having conversations. So you may as well get used to my beautiful mug now. Anyway, but if you are listening, welcome, and I hope that you find this podcast valuable. Anyway, positivity. Hear it a lot. People talk about it all the time, especially in the health and fitness space that I am in. You hear about staying positive and the importance of a positive outlook. So I just wanted to delve a little bit into that, give my opinions on it, my thoughts on it, hopefully help you bring some more positivity into your life and give you hopefully some tools that I use to stay positive most of the time. So it starts with you. And what I mean by that, it doesn't start with what you physically do, your job, your current lifestyle, the things you have. It actually starts in your mind. And a lot of things that I say are going to sound cliche because they are. In the grand scheme of things, positivity comes from the same places, the same mindsets and the same themes in order to stay positive most of the time. But it's the story that you make up in your head. Depending on how you look at a situation, the thoughts and the ideas that you come up with, how things are going to play out, are probably how they're going to turn out, or how your day is going to go. If you wake up in the morning, it's a Monday like today. I recorded this podcast today on a Monday, and you're just dreading. You think I've got a whole week ahead of work. You know, I have all these tasks to do, all these things that I need to do. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like getting out of bed today. It's cold. It's early, and I've got a long day ahead. You're going to go into your day with that mindset that things are going to be too hard, and you're telling yourself that you don't feel like doing something, which for most of us, especially if you live in Australia, you have a great quality of life. So we forget how lucky we are and privileged to be able to get out of bed, even drive to work and have a job and able to make money and be able to live a very comfortable lifestyle in the grand scheme of things. If you have a roof over your head, you have food on the table, you don't have to think about your next meal because it is just there. Not to sound dramatic and get deep straight away, I tend to go on around like that, then you are very lucky and have a lot to be positive about in the first place. Not only that, this leads into basically how you achieve your goals and the things that you want to do. If you're telling yourself from the start that you can't achieve something, you have a negative outlook on your capabilities and your goals and reaching them, then you're never going to take the positive action in order to do it because you're already telling yourself it's impossible to do. Or maybe you think you don't deserve it. Or because you haven't proved to yourself that you can do something, you think it's impossible. Until you take the action to do something, you'll never know whether you can do it or not. And you basically make it impossible to ever achieve it anyway if you're not going to try, or you talk yourself out of it at the start. So that's where a positive mind frame and positive mindset on different things start, a belief in yourself. It always starts with that positive self-talk. And you would have heard about this again trigger warning cliche saying, but thinking about it and believing in it first is the first step. Actually believing you can do it is the first step. So a positive mindset and thinking positive is the first step to getting you to where you want to be. And you have to learn positive self-talk. That is one of the best tools, the strongest tools that I have in my life. Just like training in the gym and strengthening a muscle, if you can strengthen your positive self-talk, it gets stronger and stronger, and it overpowers any negative thoughts that you have, because you can flick the switch and bounce out of any negative thoughts you're having at the time. You can refocus and think to yourself, you know what, things aren't that bad. And you have gratitude, you start to gravitate towards all the things that you're grateful for, and all the reasons why you can achieve something. And I guess for me, having been in the gym for so long, I'm going to give the gym analogy. I've proved to myself time and time again that if I just keep showing up and keep believing in myself and putting the work in, that I can get results. So the gym is a perfect analogy for your overall life. And that's why I think it's so important. Like, the gym doesn't just teach you how to get stronger. It's not the physical prize that you get from working out, like the healthy body, you know, the abs, the muscles, you know, all the compliments, the external achievements you get from the gym are just a bonus prize in comparison to how you feel and the belief systems that you build, the new wires in your brain of self-belief and achievement and grinding and working hard towards something to get something. Those are the lessons that are most important. That's why I can get out of bed when I need to get to the gym every single morning. You know, a cold morning isn't going to stop me from feeling amazing after the gym. I put those positive thoughts in my mind of how I'm going to feel after doing something difficult in the morning. And for the rest of the day, I'm riding on a wave of positivity because I've done something difficult, and the rest of the day is easy after that. I've already proved to myself I can do difficult things. And it sounds like a simple thing, just getting up in the morning and going to the gym or going for a walk or doing something. But if you commit to it and you achieve that every single day, then it's only going to follow up with everything else you do for the rest of the day or the week and in your life for months and years to come. Now, other than that, it is a very selfish thing, I guess I'm talking about, but I'm in that section of positivity. I'm just talking about your internal thoughts, your internal mindset and your feelings and self-regulating yourself. But now we have to talk about your environment, the things that you specifically can't control all the time. And that could be as close as your family members, your partner, your siblings, your parents. These environments are super important to having that first step in place, which is your self-talk, your positive self-talk, your mindset, your regulation, the ability to shut out negative thoughts, to shut out toxic environments. And this might sound like I'm trying to simplify things. I know people are stuck in situations they don't want to be in. People are unfortunately born in families that are very negative, very traumatic. Different things happen. There's not a lot to be positive about. That's why I talk about working on yourself first, so then you have the tools and ability to deal with those external negative influences. So your environment, one of the biggest ones for us, we tend to choose a lot of the time, that is our circle of friends. We tend to choose our circle of friends unwillingly, knowing that we are going to become like those friends that we hang out with the most. They say, there's these famous sayings out here, you've heard them all before, but I'm going to repeat them anyway for people that might have heard them. That is, if you hang around 5 fools, you become the 6th. If you hang around 5 criminals, you become the 6th. If you hang around 5 people that go to the gym or play sport, you're going to be the 6th, because you become the people you hang around most. And this isn't just sports related or outside activity related. This is also in your workplace. Yes, we can't always choose who we work with, but again, we can self-regulate how we feel and talk ourselves out of the feel or the environment that we're in at work. Just because everybody at work is negative doesn't mean you have to feed into that or be part of that. You can still control and self-regulate how you feel and how you deal with things. So choosing your environment and your surroundings and the actions that you take come down to what you can control as well, because there is a lot of environments outside of work or outside of your house, if it's quite negative, to have positive outlets and have positive people around you. So if your home isn't the most positive environment, maybe your work is, maybe the sports that you're involved in are, maybe it's volunteering and getting around groups that are super positive, and making the balance of negativity and positivity way more up on the positive side for yourself in order to be positive majority of the time. Now I will ramble on a little bit. This is very unscripted, so I'm sorry if I get quite repetitive here and there, or I ramble on or repeat words, but I'm just basically using this podcast, like I said, to get some thoughts out there and hopefully resonate with people more on a personal level so they get to know me outside of those short frame social media posts that you unfortunately have to do now, where it's just like a 15-second video or a minute and a half max of a reel. I want to have a longer conversation and really get some points across, and I guess share my mindsets and the reason why I do things, so you can see more of why I think the way I do and why I do the things that I do as well. Now, this podcast is going to be health and fitness focused, of course, but I'm really interested in having interesting conversations as well and learning more about everything that I don't know. I like to think that my biggest passion outside of nutrition, health and fitness is knowledge, is learning things that I don't want to know. Sometimes I get really frustrated just for the fact that the more that I learn, the more I realize I don't know, then I want to learn more. It's like this urge for me just to learn as much as possible off as many people and as many books and videos and podcasts that I can learn. So hopefully I'm going to do this for you, because I'm going to drop little gems in here and there for you as well, from books I've read and podcasts I've listened to. Pretty much everything that I've consumed, I want to regurgitate, especially if it is helpful for you. Anyway, a little bit sidetracked there. Let's go back to staying positive most of the time. And this goes back to healthy or unhealthy habits will ultimately determine your frame of mind as well. If you are sitting around inside all day, doing nothing, doom scrolling on your phone, you haven't gone for a walk in the fresh air, you're sitting inside and you already feel unhappy, you're already having a negative outlook on life, then trust me when I say sitting around and dwelling on it, staying in bed for 3 or 4 days and avoiding the things that you feel are negative or the problems that you have isn't going to solve them. Eating a heap of shit food, drinking alcohol, binge drinking, smoking cigarettes, all these detrimental things have never in the history of the world, never in the history of humankind, have made things any better, especially when it comes to your well-being and your outlook on life. We talk about a lot in the nutrition space, we talk about mood food and what food's actually going to make you feel better versus the ones that don't. We have so much food in abundance, then especially unhealthy food, to the point where we can consume so much junk, so much shit, that we end up feeling that way. I truly believe that how you fuel your body, both with food and your environment, the things you consume, whether it's the people around you, their mindsets, the things that they talk about, or even the videos you watch, the podcasts you listen to, all these type of things you consume, whether it's food, whether it's environments, whether it's influences, are going to make you who you are. So you really have to start to have a conscious mindset and a forward-thinking mindset and strategy towards what you consume and what you do and what you surround yourself with. I guess that's what I'm trying to get to. Just like with meal prep, your you're guaranteeing you're going to get some healthy meals in during the week. You have to prep your surroundings. You have to prep the things around you that are going to end up with a positive outcome for yourself. You know, there's power in making your bed at the start of the day. Look at the successful people. They always say they make their bed first thing in the morning. Why? Because they're setting the tone for the rest of the day. They know when they get home that night, no matter what else has happened during the day, they got to win. They get home, they got a nice, neat, clean room with a made bed. That's at least a positive thing that they have done for the day and a positive environment that they have created for themselves. So I'm trying not to get too controversial or anything. I'm not trying to put everybody in one category, but I can almost positively say that 99% of people who are severely overweight or even severely underweight or just generally unhealthy, they have a lot of health issues. They can't function in what we would call a normal, physically and mentally healthy way, are not happy people. You can't be completely happy and positive if you have aches and pains every day, if you struggle to get in and out of your car, if you can't walk, if you can't move around comfortably without feeling uncomfort and not feeling like yourself, then how are you supposed to be happy and have a positive outlook on the world if just simply doing normal things that you have to do throughout the day make you feel uncomfortable? They bring you pain at times, or they bring you discomfort, or they bring you embarrassment. You're embarrassed to walk around in public. You're embarrassed to be seen on camera. You're embarrassed to go and try on clothes or be in certain situations. And how are you going to have a positive life if you have unhealthy habits which lead to you being very unhealthy? Then you're pretty much determining your frame of mind due to that. Now, I'm not saying everybody has a choice. I'm not saying people aren't born with disabilities and things holding them back from being physically and mentally healthy. I'm not saying that, but I am saying majority of people do have a choice. Majority of people, if you look at the percentages of people who consume junk food, or the percentage of people who have gym memberships but don't use them, or the percentage of people that know damn well they're doing something wrong and detrimental to their health, but they continue to do it, then they are choosing and determining their frame of mind that way willingly. And I just wish that they could, I wish there was a magic switch you could flick and just help people get out of that mindset, out of that rut, and out of those unhealthy habits, and show them how it actually feels to be your happiest and healthiest self. You look forward to every single day because you are capable of making the most out of life every single day. I don't really know where I'm going with that. I guess in that long-winded kind of sentence, I just wanted to talk about and give examples of healthy or unhealthy habits. Yeah, determining your frame of mind and determining whether you're actually going to be positive or not in your overall life. And another thing I touched on a little bit, I did mention, and I want to go into a fair bit now, especially in a first world country like this. And most of my listeners, probably first world country listeners, because you have the ability to have your phone or your internet and you're able to watch these type of things, and that is gratitude. Gratitude is huge with the first point that I made, which is snapping out of your negative mindset into a more positive mind frame and focusing on the positive things that you can do. So just simply having gratitude, like waking up this morning, I was like, I do this a lot, by the way. It might be surprising to some people, but I do this a lot. And I tell my clients this, I don't want to get out of bed on a Monday. I don't want to get out of a nice, warm bed where I'm cozy, no worries in the world, and start my week off going to work, having all these things that I have to do, whether it's at work, doing things that I probably wish I didn't have to do, but I have to do as part of my job or my life. There's a lot of chores and things we have to do that we don't look forward to doing, but we have to do. But then I remember to be grateful for things that I can do. I'm so grateful when I get out of bed and then I realize, you know what? I actually have the ability to get out of bed. I have the ability to choose whether I want to get out of bed or not. And that is unbelievable. I'm unbelievably blessed to have working legs, to have a fit, healthy body that I can spring out of bed if I want to and sprint down the street. I can do all these things that a lot of people just, it would be their ultimate wish would be to get out of bed right now. Like, I'm trying to keep this podcast as positive as possible because it is a positive theme, but you have to put yourself in other people's shoes sometime in order to realize how grateful you are and what you actually have. So like I said, it's easy to complain about things that you have to do until you can no longer do those things. So look at anybody who's had an injury, a long-term injury, somebody who is active and they've had a long-term injury and they're not able to do the things they just take for granted. If you end up on crutches or you've got a broken arm and can't wipe your butt anymore, like there's all these little things we do every single day unconsciously because we don't have gratitude for them. We don't think of them as anything big because it's normal to us. We can do it every single day unintentionally and not think about it. Until something is taken away from you, you will not be grateful for it. And it should actually be the other way around. You should be practicing gratitude every single minute of every day. I know we get busy. I'm not telling you to sit and meditate and think about all the great things that you have in your life. But next time you go to complain about something or you're not looking forward to something, practice a little bit of gratitude and be thankful for the fact that you can choose whether you want to do something or not. Or be thankful for the fact that you can have the ability to go and do something you might not really want to do, but you do have the ability to do it. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Now, I had a quote written down about positivity as well. I think this podcast here, most of my podcasts I reckon will go for about an hour. I think these ones are where I just talk when it's just me and you. I'll try and keep a little bit shorter because I don't want to ramble on too much and make it boring for you. But I did have a quote, I had it somewhere about positivity. I was kind of thinking about some positive quotes and different things that would kind of, I guess, wrap up or give the main message of this podcast. I love quotes. I love like reading famous quotes, especially when I'm thinking of a topic. I like to look up some of the most famous quotes about these topics that I'm covering with you. I'll try and think of the guy's name while I go through kind of the next point that I want to talk about, and that is with gratitude. So I'm going to give you two books as well that I would say are must-reads for absolutely anybody. One is my favorite book of all time. I keep a copy with me pretty much everywhere I go. I've got one in my house. I've probably bought this book for about 5 different people. But I'll talk about the other one first. And this one is on a similar wavelength, but probably doesn't have the impact that the other one does. So the first one is The Resilience Project by Hugh Van Cuylenberg. And a lot of you on social media, if you follow health, fitness, self-help pages, he would have came up on your page before. He's very well known now in Australia. But if you haven't read his book, The Resilience Project, he does have another book. I think it's called Let Go. I think it's called, or Let It Go. But The Resilience Project, for sure, if you want to learn about gratitude and you want to start practicing gratitude, definitely read that book. I couldn't recommend it any higher. So The Resilience Project by Hugh Van Cuylenberg. I won't go into details of it. I just say if you're looking for some purpose, you're looking for gratitude, you're looking for a good book to read, grab that book. And my favorite book of all time, I can't recommend any higher, is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. So Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl is up there as one of the best books of all time, I have to say. And basically what it is a man who survived the Holocaust in Auschwitz, during World War II. He was a survivor of the Holocaust, and during his time in those unbelievable, in an unbelievable living hell of a concentration camp, he almost took mental notes of what became the book that he wrote. So he took lessons, and he took circumstances that he was in, and flipped his whole mindset on purpose, basically. The power of purpose and the power of meaning in your life, creating a positive mindset and a positive outlook, and most of all, hope. And he ended up, thankfully, surviving the Holocaust and one of the worst concentration camps during World War II. And then he wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and he became like a psychologist, practicing and helping people basically flip their mindset and come up with purpose in their life. So purpose is a huge thing. I like to say I'm doing this podcast right now because I have a deep purpose and a deep passion for conversation, for people's stories. I've always been interested in people. I've always been interested in even the guy walking down the street that I don't know. I always have these thoughts of people. I wonder what their life is like. I wonder what their story is and what they're doing. I don't know. I've just always had this passion for that. And then also with the passion for learning about other people, I've had the passion for helping people. Nothing makes me feel better than having helped somebody in some way. So I'm hoping this is what this podcast is all about. It's sharing my purpose of learning about people and my passion for helping other people. That's my purpose. Especially, I guess, specifically more in health and fitness and nutrition, because I know that those things lead to a quality of life and a happy life for other people. I wish I could bring up this quote now. Actually, I can bring it up. What am I talking about? I'll find it now for you because I had it just before. I just realized then, because I was just going on a rant, that I had this computer in front of me with the internet on it. But I've got it here and I'll find it. Sorry if this is a little bit boring. I've got it right here now. Anyway, it didn't take me long to find it because I had it. And I should know this off by heart, but I actually was looking at it just before. And I wanted to get the guy's name that said this. And it was a guy from the 1800s, actually, Walt Whitman. And he said, keep your face always toward the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you. So it's basically a 10-second sentence or quote telling you what this podcast is about. So I probably could have just hit record and said, keep your face always toward the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you, and see you next week. But I guess I just wanted to go a little bit more deep into what I was talking about. And basically what's that saying is find gratitude, find the positive angle of everything, and your problems will quite quickly go away. Because for every problem there is a solution, for every solution there is a problem. But the more you concentrate on the good, the more you concentrate on the sunshine, the more the shadows will fall away from you. Because I don't know, there's just something about good always conquering evil over time. I truly believe that. If we look at history over time, kindness and the good always outweighs and always defeats negativity and evil in the world. And I think the more that people can focus on that, the more that we can get along together, the more that we can help each other, just be better, just be happier. If you can live a happy life, then you're going, if you can, not even just that, if you can just practice positivity and look at the good in things, and you're going to spread that to everybody else around you. If you're a generally happy person, we all know those people that are just generally happy. You gravitate towards people that are happy, that are always smiling and happy and grateful, and and have that spring in their step, because we absorb that type of energy like sunlight. You absorb it and you feel it and you want to be around those people. We know what it's like when the opposite happens, when we're around, we know we're going to walk into a room with someone negative or somebody we don't get that nice feeling around. You don't look forward to it, and it's like a negative magnet. You're pushing away from it all the time. But when you have that positivity in your life, whether it's people or whether it could be an environment. Say an artist loves being in an art room with their blank canvas and their inspiration. For me, walking into a gym is like a sanctuary for me, because it just makes me feel like a little kid again, running to a playground and just trying all the equipment and just working on myself. And yeah, I guess hopefully this is the first, as I said, of many more podcasts to come. 3-year hiatus, but that won't happen again, because I can simply set this up and start talking. And I do have a lot of guests on my radar that I'm going to get, whether it's via internet or in person, that I'm going to get on the podcast and just have these conversations. But I think this is long enough for this conversation today. I think I've portrayed what I wanted to get out of it. Hopefully some tools there for you. Feel free to DM me if you need to as well at Grant Roberts PT on Instagram. If you want to talk about this further, or you want some more book recommendations, anything, people that know me that reach out and ask for things, now I will get back to them straight away, especially if it's to do with self-improvement, positivity, training, all that sort of stuff. I want to be able to help you with that. But I don't want to drag out this episode any longer. I really hope you enjoyed this first episode back. If you haven't heard my other ones, go back. There's actually 50 episodes that I recorded 3 years ago, and I got some really cool interviews in there. But onward and upward with a positive, optimistic mindset, I will be trying to drop a podcast very regularly. I'm not going to say how often, because things do get in the way, but I'm definitely going to keep them consistent. I'm going to try and aim at the moment for 1 a week, and I'll try and drop it on Mondays every single week going ahead for you guys. So give me some feedback if you enjoyed this podcast. Give it a share on your story as well. Let people know about it, and I just want to build this up to reach as many people as possible and have these conversations. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Take care.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's podcast and found it helpful, share it on your Instagram story, and don't forget to tag me at Grant Roberts PT.